tried to do this voiceover like 15 times, but we're just gonna hop on in and say that this is our castle that we've built on Ragnarok. Technically, the castle was already there, but we just kind of rebuilt it. This is the swamp castle, or the castle ruins in the swamp area on Ragnarok. And I think we've done a pretty good job. This was the least dilapidated, so I'd like to maybe try one of the harder ones that seems like it might be a little more difficult. But we'll just hop right on in and I'll show you what we've done with the place. So you come in, you've got this little area, you've got like a food stall, a blacksmith stall here on the side, kind of like you're walking up into the castle. I found these statues that we put out. Down here on the first floor, you're going to have kind of like your survival area, your crafting room. Nothing super special, but it was just like the most open space. So I kind of wanted to keep it. I kind of gave it like a dungeon vibe, um, but I kept it kind of simple. Not a whole lot down here except stuff you need to, you know, survive. This is the coolest thing that we discovered after we had already started building here. Did not know this was here. It opens up into like this back area. This part here is really cool. I'm just sitting here waiting for the the hatch to close because it's pretty powerful. Probably, yep, there it goes. Um, but put some skeletons back here. Made it give it kind of like a dungeon vibe where you put your hardened criminals back here. So the base is kind of like part survival, just part novelty. I mean, some of it's just not usable as far as surviving, but I just really like the castle vibes. That's kind of what we wanted to go with. So we just kind of added some beds and stuff back through here, some more skeletons, nothing crazy. This looks out into that main area that we were just in. To go back out, you're gonna there's some other buttons. I can't figure out how those work, but to go back out, you go back to the way you came in and press the button. So we're going to start. Well, I think I'm going to show you the other side over here, where we've got the forge. Nothing crazy, just some more skeletons, some chains. It's a mod. We're gonna go up the stairs here. We added some tapestries, did some decorating, made it really kind of gave it that castle vibe, candles on the wall type thing. We're gonna go up the stairs here. This was such an odd area, so I turned it into kind of like a library kind of kind of vibe going on. Lots of books, bookshelves. I thought every castle has to have a library, right? So there wasn't really anything else to do with this space. It wasn't very open. Up here, we did kind of like the kitchen area. Seems like a weird spot for the kitchen, but I actually really like it in this spot right here. Fireplace, some decor. Just gave it that cozy castle vibe. Up here, you got some chairs, some more books, lights. We're gonna go up to the next floor. Again, some more decorations. This is kind of like the garden area. I wasn't sure what to do with this little section, but I actually really love the garden. You go into the greenhouse I built. Just give it that, you know, we live in a castle, we have to grow our own food type vibe. And then up the stairs, I added some touches to the landings there with some plants. We're gonna hop into our blacksmith area, which is decked out in all things blacksmith, armor, weapons, a forge, fireplace, you know, all that good stuff. This was the hardest room for me to decorate, if we're being honest. Then we come up here to the aviary. It's very small, so this may change at some point, and I'll probably do another video. But I liked that it had this ledge here that I could put, flyers on. Oh, yeah, gotta show off some of the decor. I love this castle decor mod that I found. It really was perfect for the whole vibe. This is the nursery, or I call it the nursery, more like a hatchery. This is where I hatch a couple of eggs here and there. I've got another place where I do most of my breeding. This is the workers' floor. Again, another space that I had a really hard time figuring out what to do with because this castle has more space than you really need, but I really wanted to decorate the whole thing. Up here, this is kind of the alchemist's room. This is my favorite room by far. Um, a different vibe from the rest of the castle, but very like magical. You know, the Stegosaurus actually moves and eats. Got some weeds here that apparently I couldn't stand and had to get rid of. But then we're gonna just head down and show you the towers that we remodeled. There's three of us in our group, and there were three towers, so it actually worked out. We each get a tower of our own um, to kind of decorate and do what we want with, kind of like our own room, which I thought worked out pretty good. You could do something different, obviously, if you had a larger group, but it just worked out really well for us. There is this kind of like little shooting area, training ground type thing. And we're gonna pop over here to my tower, which is the tallest, which is also a pain to get up and down. And I wish I would have known that when I picked this one. But I did put some lights on the wall because it actually gets pretty dark in here. Just gave it a cozy vibe. I put a tree up. I love the greenery. I think it looks great. Added a couple little touches. Fireplace. I got my RG out front. And then from here, we're gonna hop over to my husband's tower, I think. Um, I decorated kind of the walls between the towers. Pretty simple. Just put some lights out for nighttime and added some weaponry, bows to give it that kind of castle feel. And then we're gonna pop into his room. I don't. We all kind of did the same vibe on our decor, so I think it all kind of looks the same, but we all have our own little touches that we added here and there. He's definitely a reader. And honestly, he built the majority of this. I did most of the decorating and the planning of how I wanted everything laid out, but he's really the builder. He just kind of brings the vision. Um, Over here is our buddy Ray's tower. He put some lights up on the stairs going up. His is the shortest, which is the easiest to get around in. Again, wish I would have thought about that before I picked the tallest tower in the castle. But we all kind of have our own little vibe to it, but it's all kind of the same. Not sure what's going on there. Nice Crocs. And then we're just gonna pop down and I'll show you a little bit of the yard and that'll be it for our tour. I think we're all pretty happy with the way this kind of turned out. It wasn't the plan when we started this server, but once I saw the castle, I just I just knew that's what I wanted to do. Ruin rebuilds are kind of my favorite thing to tackle, and I've done a couple of them on each server that we've had. And it's just always fun. It's always fun to kind of build out what's already there. Over here, we've kind of got this like courtyard area. It's kind of where I'm keeping the tames that kind of fit the vibe. I added these doors here to put my thylas in. my griffin. And then you just kind of go up the stairs here. This whole thing wraps around. You can get really wherever you want to go on the outside of the castle. But yeah, it is. So far, it's one of my favorite rebuilds I've done. It was easy, so like I said, I'm hoping to do one of the more challenging ones on this map. There's a couple of them, but there she is from the outside view. And again, most of the structure was already there. We just kind of had to reinforce it and make it livable, habitable. I did add some statues and whatnot around to just give it that castle top vibe. This is our first time on Ragnarok, so just kind of experimenting, trialing, doing some different things here and there. So we'll probably try something else. I did like some of the ruins over in the desert, scorched earth top biome, so we may tackle that next. Who knows? So like, comment, and subscribe.